Hey guys, happy Tuesday to you. I'll be starting off here in a couple of Well, hello and good morning. Welcome to PsychCandy for Tuesday, June 28th. Hope you guys are doing awesome. Your week is going awesome. Deanna, good to see you. Mark, always good to see you, my friend. Glad you guys are here. Yesterday, I was talking to you about forming new chapters, starting new chapters in your life, gaining a different approach. And today, I'm going to give you kind of the part 2 to that. One of the things that kind of creates our situations, okay, is, and we've spoken about this before in other shows, is we hold on to so much. We hold on to injustices in the past. We hold on to pain. We hold on to those heavy negative emotions sometimes. And then life is hard in general, isn't it? We got bills to pay. We got all these things to do. We're overloaded sometimes. We got to focus on our job. We got to make sure we paying our bills. We got to make sure we have something to drive around. We got to make sure we got food to eat. We got to take care of our kids. We got to be there for friends. We got to all these things. They mount, right? And then when you add into that our little basket of depression and anxiety, stresses, life is hard. Life requires that we develop a pattern and a routine that's actually going to help us move from point A to point B to point C and onward. I'm going to share some notes and some topics here. That was this was a great article that actually ties into this to starting the chapter. It ties in perfectly, and it was done with a colleague of mine who actually kind of comes at it from he's a medical doctor, but he also he brings psychology into it too. So we meshed, we kind of compiled this together, and I think you'll see how it flows in. But let's face it, it's easy to become focused on problems to the point where you forget where and what you really want in your life. Because we're so focused on the problems. We're so focused on all of the things that maybe we haven't gotten done, or all the things that we're just holding on to, and we don't know how to get past that point, so we hold on to it. And then that becomes our pattern, our normal. I mean, most of us, we have problems, we complain. I'm sure you know somebody, if not, I complain sometimes. We complain. We complain just on our own, socially, about work, societal issues, world issues, I mean, I think it's pretty set to say that we all pretty much know what we don't want. We can lay that list out really fast. Yeah, I can tell you all the things I don't want. But now, if you were to compare those two lists, is the list of things that you do want and the list of things you know you don't want, which one's bigger? Is it even an even scale there? But then you just come back to that simple question: what do you want? What do you want? Where do you want to be? What's the vision that you have for your life? And then, most importantly, how do you want to achieve it? Do you give yourself a time frame sometimes on goals? Do you set things up? Or have we just kind of gotten to that place that we're so used to complaining that we have lost sight of what our goals even are? Sometimes even how to even set those goals. One of the most important aspects of kind of healing that process in your brain, just healing yourself, is your outlook. Realistic and positive goal setting is a very core aspect of stimulating those, constructive neuroplasticity things in your brain, because the brain quickly adapts to where you place your attention. So it's up to you to decide what you want your life to look like, what you want in it, and then pursue those dreams. Otherwise, your focus is on the problems, not the solutions. It's so easy, isn't it? That we can get swallowed with the problems. We get swallowed to our pattern. When I have patients come to me, one of the first things I ask, why are you seeing me? And what do you want? Now, of course, the answer is usually like, well, I want to get rid of my pain, or I want to get rid of my depression, or I want to get rid of... And that's fine. That's understandable. Those are valid requests. But just making the request on its own, that's not the work. That's not gonna work on its own. To heal yourself means that you have to, sometimes you got to get rattled and shaken into a different aspect, where a question like this, what do you want? What do you want? That you're able to sit back and answer that question. Well, what I want is this. I want to do ABC, and I don't know how to get there. Okay. All right. Now we have a starting point. So we need to work on a resolve. We need to work on a structure. Because you already are seeing what it is you want to change, or what it is you want to do that you haven't. Now you just got to work out how to get there. It's critical to connect with your personal life vision. Regardless of the level of pain or depression that you're in, you have to be able to get that connect going. Because how else are you going to move forward? Everybody that knows me knows I use this word a lot. I use this statement a lot. Do not regress. Elevate. We want to elevate. We want to elevate our mind. We want to elevate our body. We want to elevate our life. We want to elevate our happiness, our love, all these things. And how many people do you know is, it's always something. There's always something going on. There's always this, always that. Always, always, always. Well, there's always significant obstacles to achieving what you want. When you're young, it's a lack of knowledge sometimes and resources, And then when we grow up and you get, enmeshed in your education, in your training, your job stuff. It might be with starting a family, and then we get into the finances, And finances, a lot of times, people associate, that's when they give up their dreams, because of, I'm just trying to make ends meet, man. Can't do anything else. Just making ends meet. That's it. Life keeps coming, life keeps coming, life keeps coming. And our hopes become even more buried. And then the added burden of the physical and mental stuff that gets put in there further compounds the suffering. And now what have we done? Now we've built our rut. Listen, we all have dreams. We seldom execute the right things sometimes to attain even a fraction of them. And why is that? What happened? I like this quote. It's by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And here's what it says. It is not true that people stop pursuing dreams because they grow old. They grow old because they stop pursuing their dreams. Now, I agree with this quote, except I have just a slightly different take on it. People grow old because their dreams are crushed by anxiety. We have to keep a vision. We are so programmed sometimes to survive that we forget the importance of creating and pursuing our vision. And where would most of us, have learned this, early on? Wouldn't it have been nice having this early on? Would have been helpful to have been taught it early on in our education, maybe. And since we lack tools to effectively process our stresses, then we're trapped. We're anxious. We're angry. We're depressed. Start feeling miserable. It might even seem normal, except that we eventually may get crushed by it all. And it layers up over and over and over and over and over. And then a lot of people look at me sideways. You know how a puppy, if you make a weird noise, it'll cock its head to the side, look at you weird? Right, that's what a lot of people do to me sometimes when I say this one thing, that positive thinking by itself won't break you out of this negative power cycle. In other words, it takes action along with that positive thinking. You've got to combine the two things. This brings me back to why I was saying earlier about connecting. We have to connect to what's happening. You have to free yourself from anxiety by developing a working relationship with it. Doesn't that sound odd? But it's necessary for survival and a gift when you learn how to operate. It's a learned thing. It's a learned set of skills. Then you can move forward and your creativity comes back. It can emerge. But this is still not enough. You got to come back to now, what is your vision? Mark, what brings you joy, man? What's your vision? What do you want? Deanna, what do you want to see happen in your world? What is it that you really, truly want out of your life? Sometimes I like looking at it like, look at your life like you're starting out a new business, right? Kind of with short-term and long-term goals. So as with any business startup, well, the chances of success are going to be pretty low if you don't have something written out, if you don't have a plan. And the more detailed you can make that plan, the better. Sometimes I like to ask people this too. Number one, ask yourself these 3 questions. Where am I now? Where am I right now? And then you ask, where do I want to go? And then how am I going to get there? Those 3 things. Where am I now? Where do I want to go? And how am I going to get there? And then dare yourself to dream again. And then while being realistic about, what is possible, well, then do it. So when we look at where am I now? Don't pull any punches with this question. If you are engaged with the healing journey, then chances are that, your quality of life has kind of been crushed sometimes, Get every aspect of your misery out on paper. Organize it into categories, and then don't tear it up. Then redo it and get more focused. You got to understand the magnitude of your situation as well as specifics before you can solve it. See, too many people are in that cusp of throw it in a box, sweep it under the rug, slap a Band-Aid on it, just keep going. And that's not going to work for you. It's going to compound, and you're going to be in a deeper hole. You got to remember that this is a journey, and it is rooted in connecting to you and your body's capacity to heal, your mind's capacity. You got to understand what is inside of you. And sometimes what's inside of you is being trapped in that depression, that anxiety, that pain, that negativity. But you must connect with it and stay connected with it indefinitely. Meaning, You have to understand it. You connect, understand it, develop past it because you understand it, and then you move on. And that's where we come into hope. Hope springs from learning to navigate out of a mess. You know, we build, we have to, we are all on a journey. We're all on our own life path. We all are going to have problems and stumbles and mistakes and, all of those things. A lot of people often respond that they can't move forward because they're in pain or they're depressed. I can't do it because I'm depressed. I can't do it because I'm just too anxious. I can't do it because of this. I can't. You can. Now, at the beginning, sometimes initially it's true that some people are stuck and they need to get rewired a little bit. That's why this early part of the healing journey, well, is focused in ways to break loose of that. You know, and again, a lot of people don't understand this, but it's not about, you can't just turn around. You don't just fix your pain. You got to understand your pain. You have to grow through the things that you're going through. You got to grow through the emotions. You have to understand them. The solution lies in moving away from it and into a more functional, pleasurable, neurological pattern that you're making for yourself. If you're depressed, break your depression into components. Break your misery into parts. What activities can you no longer do? What are some things that you just don't allow yourself to do anymore? Well, start focusing on those things. What are some things that you can do that's going to make you feel better? That's going to energize you? That's going to stir those healthy chemicals in your brain and in your life? And then you're able to go into the where do I want to go? This step's more difficult than the first one. You may be so consumed by your pain and negativity that all possibilities seem just to be gone. But when you hit that moment, go big. This is just an exercise that you'll eventually bring to life. It isn't possible to jump from, a place of deep chronic pain or misery just to the life that you want instantly, right? But on the other hand, there is no chance of attaining the life you desire without having an idea of what that looks like. Back to that vision. We'll take for a moment, take that depression, that pain, that misery, take that out of the picture just for a second. Getting rid of that can't really be one of the goals at first. Your first goal needs to be to understand it. You have to understand that a lot of times our emotions can be unpredictable. Our obstacles can be unpredictable. Our anxiety, our stress, the overload. What is our tapping moment? That can sometimes be unpredictable. And that means we have to have a better understanding of it. And it means we have to have a better connection to it. If you choose to remain upset by life's challenges, your body will remain inflamed and you'll continue to suffer. Your brain will just continue to be in the same negative space that it was before. You got to look at obstacles as opportunities to practice your skills and to move forward. Obstacles are your leverage to elevate. Obstacles are not there for you to regress. Because if you're viewing it that way, well, that's not positive thinking, is it? That's not just simple positive thinking. That's you making action. You're taking control with a positive vision. See the difference there? Be specific. Apply your vision to all aspects of your life. Apply your, here's the other word, perseverance. I'm going to persevere with my vision. And we kind of covered the how am I gonna get there? Well, effort, forming your vision. Look at the various parts of your life and ask yourself, what would you like to achieve in each arena regarding your life, and regardless of that level of depression, anxiety, pain, whatever. And every successful endeavor always encounters many obstacles, right? But part of the how is surmounting them. As you stimulate your brain to change, which is that neuroplasticity, you can direct your brain to create and move into enjoyable circuits, similar to learning a new language. This doesn't just happen by continually trying to correct your native language, right? You have to practice living a more enjoyable life in order to have a more enjoyable life. You want to know what it feels like to do something? Well, do it. And then find out what it feels like to do it. And then you go from there. See? Remember, we all know how to complain. Who doesn't? Unfortunately, the biggest obstacle to healing is that many people do not want to give up the power of pain in spite of their misery. So what do you actually want? Do you want to hold on? Or do you want to move forward? Do you want to regress? Or do you want to elevate? Because don't do both. Can't do both. And once you attain clarity and create a plan, well, now you have a chance of achieving it. And not only that, now you have a chance of thriving into it. Thriving and embracing your positive vision. Elevating and stimulating the true you, the heart of you, and your life. Mark, Deanna, thank you guys for being here today. I hope you were able to pull something from today's show. Just take it in, have that moment to where you really do understand and try to connect to maybe areas that you just want to change. And you may be doing stellar right now, but there might be just that one little area that just kind of keeps sticking its foot in the way, you know? Connect to it. Learn what that little foot is. Learn what it feels like and what is it doing to you? What is it making you feel? But then how are you going to correct it and move on? But to understand it. And the next time that happens, now you've got resources that you've built on your own to help you get past that point. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. Definitely come back. Be with me tomorrow if you're around 11:30 a.m. right here. Have some good stuff for the rest of the week. So I hope that you have a very blessed and amazing rest of your Tuesday. If you haven't been to the website, I invite you to do so, PsychCandy.org. And until tomorrow, be happy, be blessed. Cheers.